ODR fam, how's everybody doing on this great Tuesday? Hope everybody had a great day. Um, you probably didn't if you were a DR trader today, at least not during New York. So let's talk about it real quick, and we'll also look at London 'cause that's where the action was for me today. Last couple of days has been the Asian, the ADR, and the London, the ODR. That's been really where I've been able to, kind of get my profits out of the market. Um, Day two of me not trading New York at all. And honestly, there was nothing to trade. So let's talk about it real quick. Then we'll look at London. So here we go. All right. So we had about a 18 point range for New York. And, let me just, so if you look here, we have DR high, and here we have DR low, IDR low, IDR high, right? And then here's our point 0.5 fib. Okay. If you look at what price did, right? So we have basically, we stayed inside of the DR range the entire day. All right. Um, we didn't even come down and or go up and have a close inside of the IDR, before the DR on either side, right? So there really was nothing. The only thing we had today was actually this one wick that came down and then went right back up. That means nothing in DR world. That's just it's just a wick, right? If we had, like I said, we had closed, we had a body that closed down there, we could at least say, well, maybe we'll be going down, all right? So if you were, scalping today, you probably could have found some plays, but again, these are not DR plays. These are just be scalping plays that you would make on your own. So if you did make some trades today, let us know about it, right? And kind of what you were seeing when you took the trade. Because again, I wasn't really looking at the market today. I had some things going on, but looking kind of hindsight at it, I was kind of glad I had other things going on today. There was really nothing for us to mess with. All right. So again, if you made some trades, during the New York session, let us know about it. Let us know what you saw. All right. So let's jump back. We'll go back to London, and one thing I'll say with London is that we had a pretty quick confirmation low. And I want to point out this gray bar right here, and I'm going to turn it off in a second, but I want to point it out. That is that new week opening gap we talked about, which again can be used as support and resistance in a lot of cases. Okay, so that gray bar, just keep it, let me leave it on for a second. I want to talk about it and what it actually did. Okay, so if you look at what we have, very small range. I'm sorry guys, I'm at to turn it off so we can kind of see the range a little bit better. All right, let me just get rid of that for a second. Okay, I'll bring it back later if we need to. All right, but so we had a really small range, right? Just London, which is fine, which you understand that normally happens. Nothing I was looking at here that didn't do anything for me as far as setting a bias. And honestly, guys, I was not up at 4 a.m. to see this form. All right, I got up around 6, and I saw this, and I was like, man, that's a pretty big move coming down. All right, and then one thing I want you to notice, and we confirmed on that candle right here. All right, and when we confirmed, we never really retraced back. Okay, so there was no retrace back up above IDR or DR. We touched DR on the next candle, but we didn't go above it, so that would not have been a trade for me. Okay, so again, as we look at this, what we'll see is we had that big movement down, and then we started to move back up. Now, where do we go back up to? Okay, and this is where when we look at things like the new week opening gap, where that becomes part of the story, because when price moves back up, what it does, it comes back up, it goes above DR, which is the line right here. Okay, doesn't get above IDR, right? And so, which is okay, but it's inside of that new week opening gap, that gray box. All right, and so that looks like a person. Let me draw another leg. There you go. All right, now I'm just playing. All right, so when that happens, let me get rid of. So let's turn the gap off so we see it. We won't have to see it. Now remember, that's an ICT concept, right? But it works, right? We take the things that work and work for us. All right. So when we have this, we come back up and retrace. Again, we don't go all the way up, and so at 7 o'clock, right, I put an order in right on that gray line, which is our DR low. All right, a couple ticks of heat, which was nothing, because my stop was up here, like literally up by the by my .5 fib. So I was happy. I was, no threat of any stop outs or anything. And then this thing just came down beautifully, and so I actually stopped myself out at 10 points. Okay, because I was like, okay, that's what I need for the day. I'm not really pressed about it, and I had some things I had to get ready to do, and so I really wasn't able to kind of watch it. And what I didn't want to do is set my take profit down to like 15, and then put my stop at 5, because I would have lost 5 points. And most time I'm okay with that, but in this case, because of how we had moved, I was like, nope, I don't want to give that back, right? Because like we went up, we went down quick, up quick, down quick, right? So the next move would have been up quick, right? Which I didn't want any part of, right? So roughly 49.07, if I remember correctly, and it came out at 97 down here. All right, so right around there. Okay. Now, in retrospect, what I could have done was move my stop, or move my take profit. Sorry guys, let me put that back in the middle so you can see that. Now we have this daily, and you guys can't see it, but this red line is our daily sell side liquidity from yesterday or the day before, or for last week. So that's another area where I could have targeted a take profit. Okay. But again, I wasn't really watching it, and I saw the sell side, and I was like, I'm not too worried about it. But let's talk about what happened after sell side, right? So if you were paying attention, we talk about sell side and buy side, because a lot of times when we take out a major liquidity zone, right? So this is a daily sell side. So this is stronger than just kind of an intraday sell side. We took that out, all right? And you see what happens. We started to consolidate a little bit, and then we just shoot off. And we talk about a lot of times when you have a sell side, a significant sell side or buy side being taken out, price will actually reverse to the other side. And so if you were paying attention, you could have actually taken that reverse all the way back up. Okay, not my trade, but again, that's another thing you can look at. And if you stick to your plan, stick to your rules, then that's a potential trade opportunity. So anyway, so that was the story. Didn't do anything with Asian last night. There were some trades. There was a trade, and I looked at it. There was a retrace here off of this confirmation on this candle, and it ended up being about 5 points, I believe. But I was getting ready for today, and I really didn't really want to do anything with that one. So didn't do that. Again, woke up this morning at 6, saw the move happen at 7, and was able to take that for 10 points. And it's funny, because like I said yesterday, I didn't trade because I'm like, I was good from the night before. This morning I said, y'all might not see me again today, because I was good from getting those 10 points off of London. And, and I just didn't need to trade today. So, and I didn't. So, and that's part of growth for me, honestly, because a lot of times, you feel like you have to trade all the time, every day. And, all your friends are trading during New York, or at least looking at the market during New York. And I'm just kind of like, I'm good. All right. So that's part of the, excuse me. Oh, sorry. That's part of the psychology and kind of the growth around, trading, especially with a model like the DR, a strategy like DR, where you have specific things you're looking for. I'm reading price action, but I'm reading it in context of where price goes and where I expect it to go after those moves, right? And so you can kind of do the same thing, right? So, if I look at today, there's nothing I have no interest in any of that stuff today, right? Look at last night or earlier this morning. That's a perfect opportunity and a perfect setup for the strategy we use around DR, and that's a pure play DR. Now, the only thing, if you were up at 3 o'clock looking at this, would you have been patient enough to wait for all this to happen, right? For 7 o'clock, okay? Because I used to get up at 4 just to see what DR did, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get in so I can make a trade and go back to bed. And I stopped doing that because I would force a trade and then end up with, a loss unnecessarily. And so, you wake up and I look at what's happened and I see kind of, okay, my setup is right here, right? I'm up here. I wake up here. It's my normal time. I watch all this happen because I saw this, right? Watch all this happen. Oh, okay. I just retraced. The first retrace of the day was right there. All right. Put your order in and take your profit. Okay. Start out with 5 like I always do. Start out with 5, 5 and 5. And then when I saw this happening that quickly, I just moved the stop down to 10. Okay. And then that was it. All right. So anyway, don't want to belabor that point, but again, it's just really sticking to your rules, following your plan, understanding your risk tolerance, and and the thing for me is if I'm up, 10 points and I take a trade and I lose 5, I'm okay with that because 5 is really what I'm looking for the day. All right, you get 5 points a day, and I'm using 2 contracts exclusively on ES, so that's not a bad haul. I try not to lose, 5 points, but if I do, I'm okay with that, right? Because A, I've made 5 in that case, and then B, like I always say, using the setup and the strategies that I use, I know I can make that back pretty consistently. So, but again, I had to get myself there mentally. I know some friends of mine are starting to read Trading in the Zone again. If you're struggling with kind of, second guessing yourself and thinking about like, well, should I do this? And then you go back and say, oh man, I should have done that. Read that book. That psychology of the trading is actually harder than the trade, right? So, because once you kind of detangle yourself from the emotion of it, then it makes this a lot easier. It's there, so you can see it. Like I said, when I was trying to do options a lot and wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I do make these moves, and I'm like, oh, I'm stressing about it. Now half the time I set the trade and I can walk away from it because one of 2 things is going to happen. Either I'm going to make 5 minimum, or I'm going to lose 5. I'm okay either way. All right, and so you got to get yourself there. I can't help you do that. All I can say is you got to trust yourself. You got to trust the process. Trust your strategy that you make. Don't trust my strategy because it's my strategy. It may not work for you. You may not be able to handle it the way I handle it. You may care too much, like, because sometimes I just don't care. It's just like, all right, let's see what happens. And like I've always said, I'm okay taking 1 point or 2 points on the trade and okay, well, wait for the next one. All right. But if you're not there, don't try to do that. Stick to your plan, see what works for you, but find something that works for you and keep doing that. All right. I'm off my soapbox for the night. You guys have a great evening. It's already after 8. Enjoy. And we will do this again tomorrow. Remember, like we always say, love on your loved ones because you never know when you won't be able to do that. So take advantage of it now. And that's it. All right. God bless y'all, and we will talk to you later. Good night.